What's up, brother? Special teams, special plays, special players. Tuesday. Sorry for cussing on this episode. Welcome back to yet another fan-flippin-tastic episode of the Funny Business Podcast. I'm glad you're here. Mike's glad you're here. We're both glad that we are here together, virtually, in this recording room, whatever you want to call it. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. Mike, how are you? How are things?
Boy, what a day to finally hear the ice cream truck running around my neighborhood again. Beautiful day to be inside for a virtual podcast with my best friend. But we're vibing. We're vibing. And looking forward to another great episode.
Yeah, this weather just screams like I want to record a podcast. And it's just, it's a gorgeous day out today. Wearing, no quarter zip, no jacket to work today was a great feeling. Ready to rock and roll. Mike, I do have some exciting news.
You do?
I do. I got a surprise today when I came home.
Okay.
Yeah. So I am now an annual pass holder at a local golf course.
Ah!
Yeah.
Does that come with
yes.
a +1 initiative?
No, unfortunately it does not. However, it's great for me. So,
lovely.
Yeah. Yes. I'm very excited. Gonna get my golf on soon, very soon. It's golfing weather is upon us.
So what you're saying is you use that pass, and then if I want to come with you, we just split my fee.
I'll have my people talk to your people. We'll hash that out.
So that's a no.
Yeah, that might be a no. Yeah, we'll put that in the CBA bargaining talks.
What a good friend. God
Yes.
forbid. Yes. What a good friend.
Yeah, I'm the best.
Well, Matt, even though it's a nice day today, we had a pretty normal day. I don't know about you. Did you have a nice normal day?
Today was actually a very normal day. Like, if
Great.
you looked up normal in the dictionary, especially at work, it would be today.
It's not SpongeBob. I am normal.
No, definitely not that kind of normal.
So, for those who are on the East Coast, let's just say we had a very interesting time living, let's put it that way, during the time of this recording. So this would be the week of April 7th. Yeah, I could do math. Actually, even before that, April 5th, East Coast, if you're close to the state of New Jersey, you had a very interesting thing in which we'll talk about. But even sooner, we had a solar eclipse. Matt, thoughts on the solar eclipse?
Well, it was kind of a waste. It was a waste of solar eclipse, I'm going to be honest. It was very cloudy where I was. Couldn't really see anything. And I don't know. It's an eclipse, I guess. It's a thing. It happens. What are your thoughts?
I too had shall we say, a very low energy reaction to the eclipse. Working on a college campus, you tend to have interest in the community when it comes to a big event like this. Everybody was outside trying to get a glimpse of it, and it was super cloudy. You could tell there was a difference. You could tell that there was something that was coming out, or shall I say was being covered. I know from my brother's perspective, who lives in Texas, they had full totality, which was super cool. He wasn't able to take pictures of the actual eclipse, but he had the opportunity. The street lights came on, and it was dark, and it was very interesting to see the pictures from him, which was pretty cool. But hopefully, again, I think that somebody said that in 2070 something, our state would get a full totality. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on that. But
Interesting.
I think I estimated we'd be about like 80, maybe early 90 in terms of age.
So at that point, we're going to be so old, our vision's going to be terrible, we can just look right at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Sounds about good.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Yeah, I don't know. I just, it's a cool thing, I guess, but people made like such a big deal out of it, and all these news stories, like, make sure you like go to work early or stay late, and like don't go out and travel. Like, you can be outside and not look at the sun, and also it's not that hard to just not look at the sun. You're supposed to do that on a daily basis.
Yeah. Well, Matt, we thought that the solar eclipse was going to be the only thing that we were looking forward to, but the East Coast again experienced something just a little unusual. Let's put it that way. I am referring to, or we are referring to, the 4.8, which is not that high, but a 4.8 magnitude earthquake that occurred East Coast, specifically in the state of New Jersey. But Matt, as Pennsylvanians, we heard it. Heard if you had an audible to it, but we felt it if you were sitting down. Matt, I think we celebrated your birthday. We were in person. We had a very fantastic time.
We did. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course. I don't think you and I were we touched base as far as what happened in the earthquake because, we'd save it for the podcast. So thoughts on the earthquake?
Yeah, I didn't feel it at all. Didn't feel a thing. It was my birthday. I was building a pool table for work. And it was kind of funny. I got a text from my brother in the family group chat. And then April called me at the same time. But I was carrying parts of the pool table, so I couldn't look at my phone.
What were you carrying specifically?
Slate. I was carrying slate. Yes.
Okay, now it's starting to come back to me, but I only heard that part.
Yeah. So then I look at my phone and I see it my family's going off about an earthquake. I was like, what the hell? So then called April, and poor April woke up to the whole bed apartment just shaking. So she was terrified. It was a hell of a time. I mean, we are lucky it was a 4.8. It wasn't anything super, super significant. But definitely freaky. I think I remember one other time in our lives that there was an earthquake, but I also didn't feel that one. So now I kind of feel left out.
That was my first experience feeling an earthquake. I was having a conversation with my boss over Zoom, and my boss was speaking in terms of something that we were discussing. And again, very new to the job, so still understanding the nuances and, even more importantly, the building that I'm working in. And you just started feeling the shaking, and you were thinking to yourself, is this the building? And then my boss stopped mid-sentence. And I said to her, and now mind you, she's virtual. So she's 30 minutes away from me. And I said to her, I'm like, are you feeling that right now? And she goes, yeah, are you? And I was like, yeah. And I think it was more in shock that we were both experiencing it. And it wasn't the idea that not the building was shaking, nothing really caused damage, but just that fact that she was 30 minutes away, but I also felt it as well. So it was just very odd. We all walked out of our offices. I think some of us were in meetings. We're like, are you feeling what we're feeling? And they're like, yeah, it's an earthquake. And I'm like, oh my gosh, whatever. And it was an interesting experience. But Matt, I specifically wanted to bring this up today. There is a story I do have to share that someone was partaking in that when the earthquake happened, this is probably not something you want to be doing at the moment.
Do I get some guesses?
Yeah, feel free.
Okay, taking a shit.
Okay, that is incorrect.
Okay, am I close? Hot or cold?
You are freezing.
Okay, doing the dirty deed.
Okay, you're getting warmer.
Okay,
but it's related.
Related to that. Giving birth.
Okay, all right, Matt. There was an individual from Horsham, Pennsylvania, Justin Allen, gained attention on social media, experiencing an earthquake during a vasectomy procedure.
Oh, no. Oh, God, I'm going to cringe.
So this was reported by Elise Wanschel of the Huffington Post. The earthquake struck at about 10:23 a.m. Now, everybody always has their different perspectives, but he was right in the middle of surgery. Allen initially thought the shaking might have caused by a nearby train, but soon realized that it was an earthquake. His surgeon also recognized the earthquake, prompting a moment of humor during the procedure. Matt, thoughts? I know I gave you the deets. What's your thoughts on this?
That's bad luck, man. Like, what are the odds that you're just on the vasectomy table and there's an earthquake? Like that, you can't make that shit up. You just can't. That's just, oh, what an incredible story.
So obviously shared on social media. It went viral, of course, and obviously found humor in that situation. Yeah, just thinking about it, like you're slicing something. One more slicing, man, that hurts.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Yeah, like you said, one move and it could go downhill real quick. Yeah, man, that's freaky.
You've had a vasectomy before, Matthew?
No, but just the thought of like scissors down there alone, like, is a little nerve wracking. Then you throw in an earthquake. Like, what if he just would have like slipped, or the scissors just like punctures something, and then there's just they're flying everywhere and guts all over the place and blood and other bodily functions, and it's just, oh man, God, that's got to be one of like the top 5 like worst things to happen during having a vasectomy.
I also learned too that the global tech giant reviewer MKBHD was also getting his wisdom teeth taken out during the earthquake which occurred, which also he is closer to the epicenter. Is that using good terminology? Good.
I believe so.
The epicenter. Yeah. So he had it closer. So that was. I just thinking to myself of the idea of having something so precise as a vasectomy. I mean, people could be having brain surgery. People could be, putting together, playing Jenga. That's always very, like, meticulous. Luckily, both our jobs, besides carrying slate, wasn't too dangerous for our cause.
Well, if I would have dropped the slate on my foot, that would have sucked. That would be unfortunate. Yeah, no, I think we were lucky. I think a lot of people were lucky with it only. I say only a 4.8, but it could have been a lot worse. Mm-hmm. I will say I could do without all the social media jokes. That was a little aggressive.
A little bit.
Like, there's a time and a place to make a joke. Like, the 24-hour-old didn't even pass. It was just like 5 minutes later, people just slamming the tweet button, the send button. That was ridiculous. There's also some things to joke about, some things you don't. Like, in that heat of the moment, let's say it's 10 minutes after and it's like, oh, it's a 4.8. Just because you and the people around you didn't get damaged doesn't mean that other people didn't. Yeah. Like, what if you could be sending off these jokes on Twitter and Instagram, but people 50 miles away could have had major damage. Like, you just didn't know in that scenario. So I think when it comes to like natural disasters and other things as well, I think there's a line that's going to be drawn on making jokes on social media.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes to show those, and then there's people on the flip of the coin that, let's just say, people from California specifically, they're just like, I experience an earthquake like every day. Yeah. And, yeah, I think for those who experienced it the first time, like myself, somebody said, were you in a state where you just felt helpless? Like, it's probably the only time you felt helpless, because there's like nothing that you could really do in particular to stop it, like mm-hmm. The earth had its own idea of causing an earthquake, and you were just helpless. Like, there's like when there's a fire, you could put out the fire. When but like a natural phenomenon like an earthquake, like, you're pretty helpless in that scenario. Yeah,
I guess the only thing to do is just like crawl under a table or like a doorway. I think those are the two places they tell you to go.
They usually say, like, I always remember this in like school, like, get under your desk. Like, that's always one. Because then, like, if something falls from the ceiling, like, it doesn't hit your head. Mm-hmm. But my first experience, luckily it wasn't fatal, thank God. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine we did a podcast during that moment?
That'd be electric. That'd be crazy. Could you imagine? We just go rogue and just talk about the earthquake the rest of the episode. That's insane to think about.
Yeah.
I have a question going back to the whole table, like going under a desk.
Yeah.
I guess you could say. What if it's a really bad earthquake and the desk just like collapses?
I mean, you still have. I'm not FEMA, or I'm not the not the environmental protection program or whatever it's called. But I think at least that gives you protection. Like even if even if one of the legs kicks, you still have something above your head. Matt, would you rather have a tile land on your head, direct hit, or would you rather it land on a table that you're under, even though if it's down?
No, so I understand it's for the protection, but if the desk or the table collapses, it's going to collapse on top of you.
Yeah, but the table's not going to be. Are you thinking like a table that's like, I don't know, like
Just anything you hide under, even a desk.
marble table or something, or slate table or something? Like
No, but any table that, like, if it's a big table, it falls on you, then you're trapped underneath it.
I would still go under the table if that was me.
I would go the doorway route.
Well, actually, yes, get out of the building first is the best response to an earthquake. But yeah,
That's what my coworkers did. So I was at a different site that we own. At my regular office that I wasn't at, they felt the earthquake, but they thought the AC units were turning on for the first time, and they thought they were falling through the ceiling, so they all ran out of the building, which was very smart on their part.
yeah.
But I do feel left out. Like, I kind of, now that I know that it wasn't super, like, destructive, I was like, damn, like, that could have been a cool experience, especially on your birthday.
Why don't you just tweet it? I feel like you're a part of it by tweeting.
I could.
Yeah.
Also, shout out me and my dad. So my birthday was obviously Earthquake Day. My dad's birthday was yesterday on the Eclipse.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I think we're probably the first father-son duo to ever have an earthquake on one birthday and an eclipse on the other. I'm going to go on the limb and say that.